Well, hello, lady.
Hi.
Um, I'm going to ask you how you're doing
Okay.
before I jump into how I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm okay. It's a beautiful day. It's a Friday. Got a new account this week. I'm very excited about it.
Ooh, nice. I love new accounts.
One of my very favorite people that I worked with in the past is available again. And so I hope that I can get her this time. So I'm working on
Yay.
that. And, the darkness of across the street is still sort of hanging around like a cloud.
Mm-hmm.
I found out yesterday they're having her funeral today, and so I had to spend a little time thinking about should I go to that, and then obviously I'm here, so I decided not to, but
Oh, well,
the people demanding to have a funeral are the same people who did absolutely nothing to help her for the last however many
that's
years.
rough. Yeah.
So I decided I don't really want to go be around those people, including her husband. So
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't blame you at all. You'll memorialize her in your own way.
already thinking about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Why? What's going on with you?
Oh, Christ. Okay. So, oh, I'm not crying, Christ. Okay. Uh, we had a fire in our community 2 nights ago.
Another one?
Mm-hmm. Second fire. Yep. Um, we suspect that somebody's dryer vent caught on fire. We don't know for sure. Word to the wise. If you haven't had your dryer vent cleaned in the last 12 months, you need to do that right now. Okay. Um, no loss of life. We had one kitty that didn't make it. But everybody else got out. Um, it's just a real tough situation because there's 3 units that were affected that are in a row, and the center unit is where the fire started and destroyed that one and the one next to it that's on the end. And then the third unit just had really, really bad smoke because they had a couple windows open. I mean, it's a nice, fall day. So of course you might want to, air out your house or whatever. And they left the door open when they ran out. And so it got a lot of smoke in there. So they've got smoke damage. But otherwise, that's it. Even though when you have that kind of smoke damage, you really wish it would have burnt down your house because you have all these things that look okay, but they're not salvageable. Like anything that is a fabric will absolutely need to be replaced. So all of her clothing, bedding, couches, carpet, you have to paint the whole thing. So it's like, anyways, the issue that we're having is that, where the fire started, the owner of that unit is 92
No.
and really does, in my opinion, need to be in a nursing facility. Um, she's not capable of taking care of herself at all. And she has 0 short-term memory. Um, and her daughter, who's neurotic on a good day and has already been diagnosed with depression, anxiety, ADHD, and all the things, has been not on having any of her medication for 3 days. It's like beyond a mess. And so I'm like, well, did you talk to the claims adjuster? Because they reached out to us because they need like our bylaws and all of our things. And I said, well, she doesn't have a phone, but she's with somebody that has a phone. Here's the number. Okay. So they got in touch. And I'm like, she's going to need immediate placement because she got like emergency placement. But of course, the only place that they had was this scuzzy like hotel by the airport because FFA is in town and all the hotels are booked. Right.
Those farming kids.
Those damn farming kids. I'm kidding. They were, you know, They're all so cute. They're so
know.
cute. They're like running around in like their plaid shirts and their Wranglers with their hats and their cowboy hats and their cowboy boots. They look, they're just awesome. So yay,
Yeah.
FFA. Woohoo. All right. So that's been a challenge. The neighbor who's been with them helping facilitate, had a friend who was going to put him in a hotel. And I'm like, no, the insurance company needs to do that. Like, what's going on? Well, come to find out, she has no ID, no nothing. She has nothing on her. And she has a history of mental instability and issues. She doesn't remember what any of her passwords are to her accounts. She doesn't remember what her account numbers are. I mean, if you had to rattle off your routing number and the account number to your bank right now, would you be able to?
Maybe on a good day, but probably not.
Probably not. I don't know. I think there's a 0 in there somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
I know my old account number is better than my new ones.
Like, that's because your brain was young and fresh.
Because I used to have to memorize things.
Right. Yeah. That's so. Oh, for fuck's sake. Anyways, so
watch your hands.
Sorry. I'm all over the place. She's got to get a police report so that she can give it to her doctor, so her doctor can refill out of her medication, because some ADHD medication is controlled and you can't just refill it, Okay. So in order to do that, she got to go to the police department, because the fire report won't be ready for it could be a month, because they're still investigating. This literally happened Tuesday night. And I was thinking about rescheduling with you, but I was like, I'm not rescheduling with her again. Like, we're just going to deal with this. And this is the way Cammie is right now. And this is how it is. But she has to have an ID. So she's got to go get a temporary ID so that she can take that to the bank, so she can get her account numbers, so that she can plug that into the link that was sent to the neighbor's email, so that she can get access to the money. Meanwhile, I've spent $400 or $500 on pet fee for the hotel, $200 in stuff from Walmart because they had no clothes. They're like, her and her 92-year-old mom are sharing a pair of shoes.
What?
Yeah. So I bought them like clothing, and I was doing all of this shopping like in between some things that I had to do for real estate and my dentist appointment to get 4 cavities filled. So all of that was going on at the same time. Okay, so I'm like, all right. So the friend of the friend finds them a different hotel. We get to the hotel. She's like, we're leaving the hotel. So after I'm done with my appointment, my mouth is like totally not, like I'm numb here and all the way over here. Like I'm like, this is what I sound like. And I'm on the phone with the police department, and they probably think I'm having a goddamn stroke. And so get to this different hotel, and I get there, and they're standing outside, and I'm like, well, you guys get checked in, okay? Well, they won't let us stay because of the dog. So the friend that booked it didn't know there was a dog. And when they're like, well, it's a service animal, they're like, well, you have to have paperwork. And I'm like, even if there was paperwork, it's all burnt up in a house, and they wouldn't let him stay. I'm like, dickhead. I was pissed. I was like, I can't even go in this hotel right now because I'll lose my mind. So I called the emergency services place, and I said, like, this is an emergency. We have to find someplace. So we went across, and meanwhile, they're trying to coordinate the police officer to come to the hotel to take the report while all of this is going on. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, you know what? Denny's is right there. We're not going to stay in this hotel, so we need to leave. Let's go to Denny's. We'll all sit down. We'll get a bite to eat. I don't know what they've eaten for the day. I don't know anything. Mom comes in. She sits down. She orders food. She's eating. Now, meanwhile, she is 100% incontinent. And so.
Are you serious?
No, I swear to God, she has to have adult diapers 24/7. Can't. There was an issue with that in the first hotel, and they ended up doing laundry because she wet the bed. And I'm like, what? So I'm like, did you guys not get any of her supplies? Well, no. what the fuck? Who? Yeah, this is, I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay. So I have all the supplies. We get loaded back in the car. We go over to Denny's. The daughter, and I say the daughter, she's in her 60s. She does not come in. She's so tired, she falls asleep in the car with the dog. By the time I get in there, we get settled. I get the call from the emergency placement services. And I said, I need you to find them a hotel that is within, a mile of our radius. Because we're in this area. And if anybody knows Indianapolis, like Michigan Road, and it's like right 465 in Michigan. Like there's tons of hotels there. So there's got to be something. They found a place for them to stay. And it's an extended stay style. So they have a full kitchen and full refrigerator and everything. So they got that for 2 weeks. And, I go over, so we eat, we leave. They go, we get them all checked into the hotel. I have to pay the pet deposit, which is $230 because they don't have credit cards. I said, well, good thing I just paid this off and, I've got an availability here. And by this time, I got to get Cordelia off the bus, come home, get her off the bus. And then I had totally forgotten that it was her fall festival at her school, which is where they do like the gunny sack race and like.
Oh, now you got to go have fun.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Now I got to be like super mom and not pretend like I'm literally falling apart at the seams. And I already knew that like it was going to go sideways because I had signed up as a volunteer, which I don't even know why I did that. Because
that's what we do.
Right. So I had texted the lady that is organizing it, which luckily is, we're good acquaintances. We're not quite in the friend zone yet. But her daughter and my daughter went to preschool together. So they've known each other since they were 3. So I've known her for a long time. And I was like, okay, like this is what's going on. She's like, please do not worry about it. It's good. We're fine. Like, okay. I said, I'm going to bring her, but I can't do any volunteering. And then I signed up. I guess I had signed up for the food. I'm like, why would I do that? Like there's crafts. Like there's a craft table where they do like artsy stuff and like face painting. Like why did I not sign up for food? What? Why? But I looked at the thing. It was like, you've signed up for food. I'm like, for the concession stand. I was like, clearly I had a malfunction when I did that. And to be fair, I don't even remember doing it. I just remember seeing the email. I'm like, okay.
I'll interject my mom fail of the week, which when you said food was what reminded me that, I made a curbside order on Tuesday morning when I realized we had no food. Mm-hmm. And I scheduled it for like 12:30. I ran over there, I got it, and then I was in total la-la land. And I went in the house and worked for the rest of the day. And then when it was time to go get Ellie, I got in the car. And I was like, how come it smells like food in my car? Because I left all the groceries in there all afternoon. And it's 90 degrees.
Oh, God. Was anything salvageable?
I mean, the dry stuff. But I had to throw out all the dairy.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the vegetables. I mean, some vegetables, they come from outside. What happens to them if they get warm? Not much.
Right.
But some stuff I had to chuck okay. Like the $9 gallon of milk had to go in the trash.
You're lying.
No, I'm not kidding. No, if you want to if you want your children to drink organic, non-chemical filled milk, it's $9 a gallon.
Christ.
And because I'm watching Kari be a little bit bingy, which I'm sensitive to. Mm-hmm. I have been exploring and thinking about the theory that when you give them the food that is treated with chemicals, like this whole glyphosate thing.
I don't know anything about that, but
I trust you. There's a whole school of thought right now that the way the food is being made with pesticides and chemicals is stripping the nutrition out and causing the food to be different. Now, until like 2 months ago, I would have been like, that's bullshit. Mm-hmm. But because I've been thinking so much about what caused me myself to be starving all the time before, I'm like almost doing an experiment with the food itself to see if I eat different food, if I eat the organic
Right.
grass-fed
Will
food,
that make you feel differently? Which it probably will.
it tastes better.
Well, yeah.
And I'm not a good test subject because I'm on medication. But if I feed Kari different food and I see her be less bingy and crave less, and I mean, the binge behavior is so there. And the hoarding of the candy and the hiding candy in her room, and that it's all starting.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Yesterday she said to me, Mom, I'm the only one in my class that weighs 70 pounds. Everyone else is in the 40s and the 50s. And I was like, that's because you have lots of muscle. It's from gymnastics. Probably true, but is she already at 7 starting to ask herself why she's bigger than everyone else? Yeah, she is. That kid probably burns 2,000 calories a day just jumping up and down. She's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, I have the opposite problem. Getting my kid to eat is rough.
She doesn't eat?
I mean, like if I was like, oh, here's a bag of candy. Yeah. Will she hoover that all in? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, well, you got to have some protein. She's like, I really want waffles. I'm like, okay, chicken and waffles. You can have that. So she'll have like the chicken nugget strip things and then like a waffle with some syrup on it. I'm like, right on, you know. But she's the kind that will just go, go, go and not stop to eat. Like she just won't. But,
well, okay, so we digressed into my food fiasco of the week.
So then what happened? Oh God. So I get them all in the hotel. I get them all their things that I bought. And when
you're buying all this just because you're nice. I mean, you're taking care of them and you're buying this because it's the right thing to do, not because it's your job as the property manager.
Correct. That's yes.
Just making sure.
Yeah. So, well, and I mean, I'll get reimbursed once she gets access to her money. I'll be like, hey, here's the receipts from the stuff I got you. Pay me back. Whether she cooperates with that or not, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, you might not get paid back, but that's not why you're doing it either.
Right.
I mean, you're doing this because the same reason that I took care of my neighbor across the street. Because you can't see somebody being hurt and do nothing.
Right. So this is like, what time is this? So I get in, so I take Cordelia to the festival. Oh, the festival. All right. Which was totally fun. And she had a great time. Didn't want to leave. But I hadn't actually taken everything over there before. And I had bought I went to Walmart and I bought her a phone, got it hooked up on a plan so she can make calls, got her a tablet so she can get into her email and sign stuff. So the phone and the tablet will come back to me.
This person lives independently. This is the daughter you're talking about, who is 60 something. Does not live in the house or does?
Oh yeah, no, they live there together.
They live there together. Then they're this dysfunctional?
Oh yeah, it's absolute. I think there's a long history of drug abuse with the daughter. She's just not mentally stable at all in any way. So I get them all sorted. So I get in there and they're like all freaking out about the dog. Yeah. So the dog, apparently, and this is by the time I get over there, this is going on 8:30 at night. Apparently the dog, when they left the first hotel that morning or late that morning or whatever time it was, the dog had been attacked by 2 other dogs and has little puncture wounds on his side and stuff. I was like, why didn't you? And they're like, And she's like, I just can't, if my dog dies. And I'm there, the two of them are crying, not the mom, like the neighbor and the daughter. And I'm like, why didn't you guys say something earlier when we could have taken him to the vet and it wouldn't have cost as much as if we have to go to an emergency vet? Well, there was just too much stuff to do. Holy shit. So I'm like, okay, he's clearly not acting like he's in any pain or hurting at all. I said, but he's going to need to get checked out and he's going to need antibiotics. Okay. Just in case there's an infection, right? Meanwhile, the mom's trying to use the bathroom. And let me tell you, when you're 92 and constipated, it's not great.
God.
So I didn't get home until 10 o'clock. And my husband, rightfully so,
Oh no,
was upset.
Bless him.
He just is like, you have responsibilities and they're grown adults and you need to let them handle their own shit. And he's not wrong at all, So I'm like, this morning, I get Cordelia on the bus. I come home and I just sat on my bed and stared off into space. What seemed like hours, probably only 20 minutes. And was like, well, maybe I should just watch a little TV and kind of veg out. And I just couldn't. So I was like, you know what? I need to go grocery shopping. I'm just going to go to Trader Joe's. So get in the car, drive to Trader Joe's, get a phone call. It's somebody from the fire department that's asking about the state that these women are in. And I told her everything. I said, because she has a basically a diaper rash because she's not getting changed often enough. The back of her head is a massive ball of hair. It's the biggest mat I've ever seen. And I've been a hairdresser for over 20 years. And I didn't know how bad it was, but I knew there was something going on back there. So I asked her, I was like, earlier in that night, I was like, hey, you mind if I brush your hair for you? And she's like, oh, that'd be great. I'm like, okay. And of course I run the brush through it and there's gobs of hair coming out, which is normal for somebody her age and probably the fact that she hasn't. I'm like, okay, so she's not getting her hair brushed. Does that mean she's not getting a shower? And it was painful for her just for me to just lightly brush her hair. I was like, so I told the daughter, I said, I used to be a hairdresser. I can take care of this. Now's not the time, but when the time you're ready, you let me know. Right. But she's going to have probably not her entire head shaved, but the back for sure.
Ugh. The question in my head is, for the last 2 years, whenever I told somebody about my neighbor and what was going on, people would say things like, well, have you called CPS? Well, have you talked to, there's tons of organizations that help domestic violence victims. Have you, and people are so well-meaning and they ask you about all the stuff they know about.
Mm-hmm.
And the question I'm asking here is, where does the Adult Protective Services come in to the situation? But then the cynical me that just went through this for the last 2 years is like, yeah, nobody's coming to help. That doesn't exist. It's not real.
Right. Well, part of it is that you have to have a will. The victim has to be willing to receive help, and in your, I mean,
exactly.
Right. And so if she's not willing, there's not a whole lot that can be done.
No. So you help her by default because you're the neighbor is just going to spend your money and your time and spin your wheels, and they're not going to actually accept real help.
Well, they're probably not going to have a choice because after what I explained to the fire department today, it's going to get escalated to the next step, which I don't know if that's Adult Protective Services, or they're going to get a caseworker at the very least that's going to, I said, what I know is and I'm certainly not a doctor, but what I know is that she is 100% incontinent. I don't think that she gets in the shower. I think that they just do like body wipes. And she has zero short-term memory.
None.
Absolutely none. Like, I was like, she can't, like, if you said, hey, because when we were in Denny's, she kept asking where the daughter was. And we're like, oh, she's in the car. She's right over here. So the neighbor had to go move the car so that the mom could see the car through the window, but then still was asking where she was. And we're like, and it was like every 5 or 10 minutes, she'd be like, oh, where's my daughter? She's in the car. She fell asleep. The car's right there. It's that red car right there. Where is it? Like, and
when someone, I feel like in that condition goes through a really traumatic event, like house burning down, then they just go downhill really super fast.
Right. Right. So, yeah, so this is a multiply sucky all over situation. I already messaged my other board members and I was like, y'all are gonna have to step up. I can't do all the things for all the people. Like, I can't. Like, there's no way. And the thing is like, I can't even do it. And I'm not even working full time. It's not like, oh, Cammie has a full-time job. She just can't really handle it. It's like, I just can't. I'm not, like, I have an obligation to my husband and my daughter and my immediate family. And, right. I'm hosting Thanksgiving this year, which I'm so fucking excited about because it's my birthday time because I was born on Thanksgiving Day in 1979. So it's my favorite holiday. Got my folks coming. I've got my brother from Tennessee, which, as a reminder, I just met him for the first time 2 years ago. And his wife and their kids and maybe the oldest's boyfriend, maybe. I don't know. And I want to focus on like, okay, planning for that and let's, figure out all the things we need. And we're going to have it I rented the clubhouse so that we can have nice big open space and it has a full kitchen and all that. So, that's what I want. I don't want to be so caught up in all of this shenanigans. And then when it comes down to doing something that's actually important, like spending the holidays with my family, I don't have any fucking energy left. Like, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to allow that. I'm turning 45 and putting my foot down. That's how that's going.
No, we're entering our honey badger season.
Is that right?
I think so.
Okay. I'm down.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. Let's do that.
I had follow up yesterday and I've lost 1 pound this month, which is not great. Oh. And I did admit that I have been drinking a smoothie every day from Juiceland because I'm totally addicted. And she was just like, girl,
where is this magical place?
You cannot have a smoothie every day if you're still trying to lose. Like, that's way too much sugar. I'm like,
I'm sure it is.
I know.
You know what, though? My husband splurged and bought us a new Ninja blender. And so I started making like just really simple smoothies. And let me tell you, the less ingredients you put in there, the fucking better.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's so good. I'm like, I think it was like, I mean, maybe it was technically a milkshake because it's just milk and strawberries and ice, but I was like, this is so delicious. And I don't know what it was about it. I was like, maybe there's something in whatever vitamin that's in strawberries that I was craving, and that's why it tasted so good. I don't know. But I was like, this is the best thing ever.
Do you know the trick about frozen strawberries instead of ice?
What?
Just use frozen strawberries. Just buy a big
Oh,
bag
yeah.
of.
No, I did. I didn't.
Yeah.
I actually don't think I put ice in that particular one. But I bought a bunch of raspberries, froze them, and my cravings have been really weird, like craving vegetables. I'm like,
That's like
why is it
nutrition. There's some
that
nutrition that your body's looking
I
for.
am like, want to just munch on celery and carrots? And I'm like,
They're good.
well, they are. And so I think I don't know what this makes any sense to anybody who's on this medication, but like, it's like I want to eat, like I want the routine of it, but I don't want to eat anything. Like it's not like I just want to be able to like munch on something, but there's nothing that I want to eat. So I was like, maybe that's what I'm doing is I'm like, okay, well, what can I eat that gives me the like um the same satisfaction but isn't food? I don't it's weird.
Another
So,
weird thing, last week we talked about the shortages and the scare tactics that are happening with not semaglutide. That one will always be fine, but people on Tirzepatide are being threatened that compounding is going to stop, and actually did stop. Maureen couldn't order for a little while. She can again because a pharmacist in Texas sued, and so they delayed the order so they could investigate more. Well, then I was recording an episode with somebody else who had a pharmacist on. I was like, ooh, I'm going to listen.
yeah, heck yeah.
Usually I multitask and I just sort of half listen, but I was wrapped on this one. I was like, tell me all the things. She couldn't hear me, but I was sitting here like, give it to me. And she said in North Carolina, she talked to a practice that said Eli+Lilly sent their rep into their office and installed a portal on their computer to send the medication, like drop ship it directly from Lilly to the patient. And that raised a whole bunch of questions. First being, if the drug company is just going to ship the medication directly to the patient, why do they need to go to the doctor again? So are they planning to just bypass the practice now?
No,
in the insurance
I don't think because
world,
you have to have because
they can do telemed, but in an insurance world, they're trying to just. This is what Allergan does. They want to own the patient relationship and bypass the middleman, who in this case is the doctor or the nurse practitioner who prescribes the medication.
Well, yeah, but they still have to have a prescriber.
They do.
They just have them. They all just work for the they're just
maybe
employees.
and maybe they still do, but now they're going to own the transaction. And so they want their provider to use their drop ship instead of their compounding pharmacy. It's more money for Lilly, but I think they're just trying to own the relationship with the patient, even if the provider's still there in the middle. So that was really strange. Like they're doing something odd on the ground. That was the first time I'd ever heard that. She also said she does not think that there's going to be, that she doesn't think it's going to stick because the shortage is so big and it's so real that even if there's temporary stoppages here and there, that the truth is always going to come out and that we're going to be okay. So that made me feel, but I still bought a 3-month supply yesterday. So at least now I don't have to go. It's one appointment off my very difficult calendar that I don't have to do for a couple months. So that's good too.
Yeah. I'm the same. I haven't lost anything since last time we talked. Except for my sanity, I lost that.
The Deborah lost. She texted us.
She did. She lost 10 pounds, that stinker.
She did.
Oh my God. I'm looking at my phone. Since you and I have been talking, I've gotten 16 text messages.
Are you serious?
Yeah. All my neighbors, people. I'm like,
don't try to do it all.
No.
Do what you can. I'm struck by the coincidence of the way that these things happen. On one hand, your neighbors are really lucky to have you there. There's a reason that you're the one that's there for them. But it's really hard to be that person because you have to fight this battle with every single, from every text to every task. You have to decide, am I going to do this? Why me?
Right. Well, I'm trying to master delegation, and I have a lot of people that are on board with that. So I even was messaging with them last night. I'm like, okay, Cammy's going to jump off a cliff. So y'all need to help me. And I kind of filled them in on what was going on. And, this particular person, the daughter of the, doesn't have the best relationship with people in the community because can act like a crazy person sometimes. So not everybody's willing to help her, but some are. So I got the people that are willing to pitch in and, so I was like, okay, well, that's what I can do.
One day at a time.
Yeah, basically.
I want to close out with a email from a listener.
Oh, yes, please.
Did I send this one to you or did I forget?
You did forget.
From Sharon?
But no, I didn't see anything from Sharon.
This is an email from Sharon. Sharon, we loved your email, so we're going to share it with everyone. I hope that's okay. It says, hi, Eva and Cammie. First of all, I want to tell you how much I enjoy your podcast. Thank you. I asked a while ago, is anyone listening? And so we love to hear from you because it keeps us going. No one's paying us to make this show, so thank you. I just came upon it this last week and have already binged every episode. Oh, that's why our downloads went up by 15. Cool.
Yay.
And I just want to hang out with you two like forever in all caps. Okay.
Aww.
Well, next year when we do our trip to the Encore Resort next to the Wynn to celebrate our hitting goal, Sharon, you're invited.
Yeah, Sharon. Let's do it.
I'm writing for two reasons. The first being that I used to work for several podcasts. So cool. She's a podcaster, so she recognizes what goes into it.
The work, yeah.
And the other is I just started Semaglutide last week. I'm getting microdosed by my hormone doctor, and I'm interested in possibly sharing my story on your other podcast, Skinny Shot Stories. So yes, I told Sharon already we'd love to have her on. And another friend of mine, Wendy in Florida, I don't know if she wants me to say her name. She probably is the only one who will hear me say that anyway, but I've got 2 stories to tell on Skinny Shot Stories, so I'm going to get that up and running and we'll get that. So if you're listening and you have a story about your own weight loss that you would like to tell, I am officially inviting people to reach out and say, yes, I'd love to be in the podcast. There's no requirements other than you're on the medication at any point, starting, middle, ending, success, failure, whatever, we want to talk to you. And so Sharon says, I lost over 106 pounds 15 years ago, became a health coach and a functional nutritionist. See, I think she might know some stuff.
She might know some stuff.
About glyphosate. And then gained some of the
coaching. Help me,
right.
Sharon.
She gained some of the weight back after struggling with health issues and injuries from a car accident. Being unable to work out like she used to, the weight crept back on. It's been a struggle and defeating at times. Regardless, I'm happy to be connecting with you and looking forward to your thoughts. So thank you, Sharon. And we look forward to meeting you too.
Yay. Oh my God, I'm so excited. That's great. Yay, we're very popular.
You know what I noticed about the emails we get? They like you a lot more than me.
Stop it.
I'm like, it's okay. I like her more than I like myself too. So it's fine.
Do not, madam. Oh my God, you guys. Ugh. Well, the saga continues. I'm sure there'll be more on our next one, but I'm really gonna try to focus on myself and maintaining being a healthy mom, because that's really all I want. So
the question we're asking with this episode and every episode is when the weight is gone or it's not the focus of your every waking moment, what's left? Mm-hmm. And what's left is life. And life is not always easy.
Right. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. So All right, sister.
Okay.
Love you bunches.
Love you too.
Okay. Talk
Hang
to you
on
next
tight.
time. Okay.
Follow us on Instagram at Less of You Podcast. Are you confronting the same challenges and have a story to tell? I'd love to hear your story on our Skinny Shot Stories podcast. Contact me for more details at skinnyshotstories.com. If you're a doctor and would like to learn more about sponsoring this or any of our cosmetic surgery and weight loss podcasts, go to lessofyou.com. Less of You is a production of The Axis, TAGAXIS.io.